Good morning, beautiful people. So today we're going to talk about manifestation. I know that's a popular topic all over social media. And by the way, my name is Jen. Good morning. It's Saturday. Let's get the chit-chatting. If you have not already, go ahead and subscribe because I promise you, you will love it here. We try to elevate, motivate, be better, do better, and get better. So let's get into it. Manifestation. Everybody's talking about it on social media, from the people that are in the quote-unquote religious or Christian sector and the people in the spiritual sector. Here's the thing. Manifestation goes across the board. From saying that life and death is in the power of the tongue, which is from the word, which is very true, to those that meditate and try to focus on the things that they want out of life. Everything goes together. Manifestation is a real thing. It is true. What you speak matters. Your words matter. I know I've said that time and time again. But the reason why they matter is not because, I'm just going to say, hey, I want to be a millionaire and I want to lay in the bed all day and I just expect money to fall on my head. That's not how it works. What you think and what you believe matters. So it's not just what you think, but it's the intention, the vibration, and the actions behind the words. The word also says that faith without works is dead. Very, very true. Yes, you got to have faith. Yes, you have to believe in something. Yes, you give things to God. But you also got to make some moves towards what you want. You can't just say, hey, God, I want a real big house. And then you're not looking for a job to try and provide, to take care of, and procure said house. That doesn't make any sense. God is not a magical genie that's just going to sprinkle something on you, okay? While God does perform miracles, God is only going to give you what he feels like you truly deserve. And you earn that by being grateful. I strongly believe that because I have seen it happen in my own life. When I started living in, Lord, I'm grateful for everything I have right now, instead of, Lord, thank you for this, but I don't have that. Like, I started realizing my blessings were coming because I was grateful, because I was thankful. So I try to keep myself from saying now, Lord, I'm thankful for the little things. There are no little things. I woke up this morning. That is the biggest blessing there is. And we take that for granted because we get up, we go to the bathroom, be on the phone on our social media while you're taking your first little call of nature in the morning. Then you're still on social media when you're fixing your coffee. Then you're fussing at people to get out your way if you're going to work. You're yelling at the kids to hurry up. You're trying to find your keys. You do all that. You go to work. Then you work. Then you deal with your co-workers. And if you're dealing with the public like I do, you deal with the public. You listen to their stories. I'm a hairdresser, by the way. You come home. You deal with your family. You cook or eat dinner. You know, you watch your TV shows or whatever. And then you go to bed. And all that, you ain't thank God for the first thing that happened. Your feet hitting the floor and your eyes opening and breath in your lungs. We take it for granted that it's just going to happen. We have come to a point in culture where we live in this expectation culture. We expect to wake up every morning. We expect that you're not going to get into a car wreck. We expect that our loved ones are going to be there forever. And then the only time that we realize that that's not true is when somebody's gone. And then we do these posts on somebody's Facebook when somebody passed away. You know, well, gotta give people their flowers while they here. Tomorrow's not promised. Why you don't think that when you get your butt up in the morning? Why don't you recognize that and realize that and appreciate what is right there in the morning, in the moment? Instead of worrying about your bills, because I got them too, okay? I'm raising 2 kids by myself with the help of my village, my family, but without their biologicals, okay? And I don't complain about that. That's not a complaint. The way that I flip that, and I understand if you're a single parent, man or woman, I understand it's frustrating, and sometimes you just want to scream because that other person is not holding up to their responsibility. Now, I'm not going to say, oh, it's your fault, it's their fault. Screw all that. The thing is, you're frustrated because you're doing it by yourself. What you could be saying is, thank God for these kids. Take all that other negative energy out of it. Thank God for these blessings, Lord, because they push me to be better. Thank God for these blessings, Lord, because they make me aware that I should be more of an example of you and less of the world and less of what I want to be. Because I was there too. I was so bitter and, well, he ain't doing what he's supposed to do, and I'm doing all this by myself. That was my energy. Now when I get up and things get hard, I say, thank God for this, because it's pushing me to be better. It's showing me that I can push past my limits. It's showing me not only who I am, but whose I am. And I got it in me to survive. Because that's what I've been doing. I've been surviving. And I'm working towards thriving and getting better. You feel me? Words have power. So let's talk about this manifestation. I want to move into an apartment. Every day, all day. I fantasize about these apartments. I know exactly the location I want to move to. It is way out of my budget right now. We're going to be all the way real. Here's the thing. I'm going to move into them apartments. Because what I've started doing is talking to myself and saying, if I was moving next week, what would I do? Oh, I would declutter. You've been in an apartment for a while. I've been in this apartment for several years, okay? You start going through stuff. You start getting rid of things. What I'm going to move with, what I'm going to get rid of, right? So I just started doing that some months ago, okay? I started going room by room. And I still have a lot to do because I've collected a lot of stuff in a tiny apartment. So I'm going through and I'm constantly organizing. I'm constantly decluttering. I'm constantly going through my old clothes. I just gave away a garbage bag and a half of the clothes that I wore last year when I was 253 pounds. We 222.2 today. Okay? But I'm not holding on to them clothes because I'm holding on to old energy. Simple things like that. When you hold on to old energy, stuff that you think you're done with, it weighs you down, and then you can't rise to do what you need to do. It not only weighs your energy down, it weighs down your mind. So me looking at all that clutter, all I was doing every day was getting overwhelmed and saying, ooh, how I'm going to do this, how I'm going to move to this new place, how I'm going to do this. I'm not saying that no more. I just say I'm moving. Not how, I'm moving. I figured out. I'm moving. So I got rid of those old clothes because also my mindset was, and I've always been like this, y'all. I have yo-yoed my weight for years. But I've never lost this much weight at one time. I've never lost 30 pounds and kept it off. Now I've kept it off for over a year, y'all. I've never done that in my life. I would lose 10, I would lose 15. One time I even lost 20. And a couple months go by, Christmas get here, whatever, and I gain all that weight back. So now my mindset is I'm not going back. Why do I have all this clutter? Because I used to hold on to them clothes thinking, well, if I gain the weight back, at least I got something to wear. No, we're not thinking like that no more. I'm not gaining the weight back. I'm living in an era of certainty. I'm living in an era of confidence. And when you manifest, you can't have no doubt. That's number one. When you manifest something, you can't even let negative creep into your mind. You have to be dead set and laser focused on what you want. Sorry, I'm getting tongue-tied. It's 7-something in the morning and I'm on the way to work, y'all. But you got to be laser focused on exactly what you want. And you can't let nobody talk you out of it. You can't have negative self-talk. You just have to know, this is what I want. This is what I'm going to do. Because the more you keep saying that to yourself, the more you make better choices. That's where it comes in that the words have power and you manifest it. So, when I want to eat a whole Popeyes meal every single day. Now, I ain't saying I don't eat Popeyes every blue moon. Yes, I do. Because I love Popeyes. I love fried chicken. Okay? Fried chicken is my weakness. Them Popeyes biscuits, even though they dry, I used to love eating it with the honey and then getting me a good old lemonade. That nice chalky lemonade that you get from Popeyes with that dry biscuit and that honey. And then biscuits be buttery and dry at the same time. I never understood that. But I loved eating that, right? But here's the thing. When I think to myself and I have a moment of weakness, I say, I'm not going back. I'm not going back. I refuse to go back. Yes, I want that chicken. That don't make the desire to want it any less. But I make the choice not to do it like I used to, because I don't want to go back to 253 pounds. I don't want my blood sugar to be in the 300s and 400s every single day when I wake up. Yeah, it was that bad. I don't want my blood pressure to be 180/94 every single day. My legs swelling. I'm bloated, looking crazy when I go to work. I can't move good enough when I go to work. Because honestly, y'all, I'm sure that my foot already had a weak spot, but me having that extra weight on it did not help it, and it just gave way like a twig, okay? It snapped one day like a twig. Then I was out of work for 11 months. I will not ever go back to something like that. Now, it's true. Life is going to be life. Sometimes things happen. It's the way you react to it. You're going to have negative self-talk, or you're going to talk your way into greatness. You got to make that choice. Somebody can speak life over you. Your pastor can prophesize over you. They can lay hands on you. They can do all these wonderful things. If you don't believe it, do it for yourself. It ain't going to happen. It's a you thing. Your whole church can pray for you, and they can be some prayer warriors. If you don't believe it, it's not going to happen, because you're going to continue having the same bad habits. Manifestation is not just speaking the words. It is the action and the vibration and the intention behind the words. Manifestation is not some magical spell. Now, I'm not trying to knock the spiritual girlies or whatever. You do what y'all do. I'm saying what I know from my personal experience. Manifestation is truly you believing, because when you believe, you behave differently. When you believe, you make different choices. But sometimes you got to speak things into existence, and that doesn't mean I want a new car, and then you just sit there and you just think the new car gonna drive up in your driveway. That ain't how it works, boo. You want a new car? Okay. Go online, find out how much the car is that you want, okay? Then start thinking to yourself, how many hours do I have to work? Or how much money do I have to save to get this new car? Or how can I knock down some stuff off my credit so that when I get ready for this car, I can actually get it, okay? These are things that you have to think about. So like I said, I'm moving. I ain't thinking about the how. I just keep saying to myself, I'm moving. So I've already started decluttering. The more I say that to myself, my mindset started to change. The little frivolous crap that I was spending money on, I don't do that no more. I put that money up. Okay? So now, when I sit there and I be like, man, I really want my toes done. Well, I'm a master cosmetologist. I can do my own toes. And then pay myself $30 and tip myself and put it in the bank, okay? It's simple stuff. Now multiply. Now most women, we get our toes done probably twice a month, okay? 30 times 2 is 60, okay? $60 a month for 12 months. That's money in the bank, okay? That's some rent money right there. See how I just talked myself out of something that I didn't need so I can get something that I really want? Yeah. It's all about you telling yourself positive things, believing in those positive things, and then making the moves. So anyway, that's my little talk for today. If you enjoyed this video and you made it to the end, I love you for real, and I thank you. And I hope that you have the most amazing Saturday ever. Peace and blessings, everybody. I will talk to y'all later. Go ahead and subscribe to my channel. My name is Jen. See y'all later.